Everyone, welcome back. I'm meteorologist Scotty Powell here with the Carolina Weather Group. I want to break in with a new tornado warning. We have a new tornado warning for Chester County in South Carolina. This is going to go until 7 p.m. tonight. Again, this is for Chester County, South Carolina. This is going to include areas near Great Falls along Highway or Interstate 77. So if you know anyone traveling Interstate 77, let's say from Charlotte to Columbia, you want to make sure that they are alert of this. I'm getting the radar pulled up right now. So once we get that pulled up, we can zoom in and show you what's going on. So I think I've got that right now. So let's get this up and going here. Again, this is a tornado warning for Chester County until till 7 p.m. We're watching this rotation right here, just to the east of Interstate 77 along the Fairfield County and Chester County line. Again, this is going to be moving into portions of Fort Lawn, Great Falls, all in this tornado warning, just outside of Richburg. If you're living over in Lancaster County, we'll want to monitor this system. But again, this is for Chester County until 7 p.m. This tornado warning is Doppler indicated. It is about 15 miles north of Winnsboro and 4 miles west of Great Falls, moving to the northeast around 40 miles per hour. And we can see right there is the rotation. And I will tell you, it's not as strong as it once was. And that's kind of how the MO has been for these storms today, is the rotation really pulses up and then it weakens. But anyway, this tornado warning continues until 7 p.m. Some of the locations that could be affected by this would be Great Falls and Fishing Creek Reservoir around 6:40, Fort Lawn around 6:50 p.m. And again, this storm is also producing some torrential rainfall, so watch for some ponding on area roadways. So this is from our Columbia radar. Columbia, South Carolina radar. Let's tune in here to the Greenville Spartanburg radio, and you can kind of radar, and you kind of see we've got some of that rotation being picked up. Again, I think we're going to be better served by this Columbia radar, as it's just a little bit closer to the storm from the Greenville Spartanburg storm. So again, here's Interstate 77, this red line right here. So this is going to be west or east of Interstate 77 along Highway 97. So again, if you live in Great Falls, I hope you're in your storm safe place right now. Fort Lawn, you need to be in your storm safe place as you're in this warning. Again, this is a rain-wrapped tornado, so you're not going to, or rain-wrapped a storm. So if there was a tornado there, you would not visually see the tornado. Most likely going to be pretty wrapped up in some rainfall. And I can show you that by the reflectivity. There's a lot of rainfall around this. And so we're watching this little notch area on this line of storms. And we call these QLCS storms. It's not these supercells that really produce picturesque tornadoes, but these are more along a line. And anywhere we see these lines, we see notches develop with some inflow. We call those inflow notches, and that's where we could see some of those quick spin-up tornadoes. So again, this is going to be just to the east of Interstate 77, just to the north of Highway 97. Again, if you live in Great Falls, this is going to be just to your northwest of Great Falls. If you live in Fort Lawn and eventually over into Lancaster County, Irwin, Springdale, Lancaster, we'll need to watch this storm and monitor that. So let me go ahead and put the Columbia chat in here, because we may have to use that here in just a minute. Let me go over here. Yeah, so this is National Weather Service talking about this could be a quick spin up. So they kind of really spin up and then spin right back down. But again, if you live just north and west of Great Falls, that is where we see the rotation. And I see we got Jared Smith here. So I'll bring Jared in and I'll let him get set up here. But again, we're watching this QLCS type setup, this quick quick rotating storm passing just to the north of Great Falls. And Jared, whenever you're ready, just let me know and I'll share the coverage with you. If you live in Fort Lawn, you definitely need to be in your storm safe place because this rotation is going to be moving along Highway 21. And 21 is a north-south route. So if you live in Fort Lawn, be sure you're in that safe place. And again, that's lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible as this rotation that we are watching. Again, this is from the Columbia, South Carolina radar. This is kind of in between radar scopes of Columbia and Greenville, Spartanburg. So we're bouncing off both of them. So if you see us switch products, that is the reason why. But again, this storm going to be north of Great Falls. This is past Interstate 77. So if you had anyone traveling, let's say from Richburg to Columbia, the circulation, at least the rotation, has passed to the east of Interstate 77. Still a lot of heavy rain and some gusty winds associated with the cell on 77, but at least the rotating part has moved to the east of 77. And again, we're going to be crossing over probably into the Lancaster County, and I want to see if that was Columbia, where we may see the Columbia office kind of Greenville, Spartanburg taking over jurisdiction and giving it to Columbia as this moves into the Columbia region, their office there in Lancaster County. So if you live in Lancaster, Irwin, Springdale, you need to be on guard with this cell as it's quickly approaching Lancaster County. In fact, that circulation almost in Lancaster County right now. These are quick moving and storms, so they're in and out pretty quickly. So you really don't have a lot of time to get in shelter if this storm is moving towards you, because they are moving pretty quickly to the northeast, around 40 to 45 miles per hour with this cell. Jared, you up and going? I know you guys also have some action going down there in the low country.
We do, not quite like this, but we definitely have a pretty good-looking line of storms that's pushing its way into the low country. Now, let me change my radar view here to show you all exactly what we're looking at here. The regional, that'll work. That's going to do a really good job of showing the situation. So it's kind of crazy. This whole thing is caught between. It seems like this thing is caught between two watches right now. Where your tornado warning is actually between the severe thunderstorm watch to the east and the tornado watch to the west. But in the meantime, we have a decently organized line of thunderstorms with a few severe thunderstorm warnings on it, generally looking with about 60-mile-an-hour winds along this. Now, the expectation is that this is going to weaken as it gets closer into the Charleston metro area. Do expect this to lose some punch. So you'll notice here that the red outline does not include the city of Charleston. The yellow outline rather does not include the city of Charleston. Severe thunderstorm watch is not in the city of Charleston. So we're keeping an eye on that. Obviously, again, we'll see. We'll make sure that these weekend. Right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Colleton County, including Walterboro. Just to the west of Somerville, places like St. George and Harleyville are going to be included in this warning. And this warning is going to go until 7:30. So again, we'll watch this line as it moves eastward. Switch to a slightly higher resolution product here. So here's your high res here, and again, some pretty strong winds. Looks like there's a little bit of an outflow boundary developing with it as well. So you might start to see a shelf cloud here before too long. But again, the expectation is that this loses a little bit of punch before it moves in. So let's get back to our tornado warning. No update on this yet.
Yeah, and Jared, Columbia has just issued a special weather statement for this cell for Lancaster County. So to me, that tells me they may not extend this warning once it gets into Lancaster County. These are really quick spin ups today. So what you see on radar may be there a frame or two, and then the third frame it's gone, and that's kind of how it's been today. Except the lone exception was the I know we can't say it's a confirmed tornado, but the very high possibility of the tornado that happened in Cabarrus County today, that was on more than a few scans. But Jared, you can see this is now moving honestly across the county line now into Lancaster County. So I would imagine if the Columbia office was going to issue that warning, it would have been issued by now. And it looks like you're looking there at the Dupree tractor. And anything you see of anything notice?
Nothing to notice. You see a few depolarization streaks because of lightning, but other than that, nothing too crazy here. And again, you can kind of see where that circulation might be. It's still broad. It's still there. There's still something there. Again, this radar has a decent look at it. I mean, this is about 3,500 feet up. That's a decent, that's decent. It's not ideal, but it's decent. But it is broad. So I can understand why Columbia did not opt to continue to issue. But I would, Irwin, Springdale, Lancaster, keep an eye on this over the next little bit. Elgin, I think you should be more worried about earthquakes in Elgin. It's the earthquake capital of South Carolina these days. But
that's right. GSP putting out, they're getting ready to cancel this. So it shouldn't take here the next minute or two for this morning to be canceled. It was going to it's supposed to expire at 7:00, so just a little bit, about 10 minutes early. But and that's kind of the setup today. Is the storms kind of get this kind of QLCS kink look to it, and for a frame 2 or 3, it looks ominous, and then everything kind of starts to fall apart or weaken. So and we'll have to monitor this throughout the evening as it moves into North Carolina, which has already seen one round of severe weather today. So with a worked over atmosphere and the sun about to set here within the next hour or so, probably not a lot of instability to work with as it moves back into North Carolina, but we still have enough twist in the air, enough shear in the air to monitor this for that potential. And Jared, also monitoring your storms down there in the low country right now, going pretty strong. But as you was talking about, as it reaches the coast, it looks like it may weaken a little bit as it gets closer to Charleston.
Yeah, that's been the idea, and that's what we certainly hope happens. We would like to see that happen for sure. But yeah, strong storms from Orangeburg. The best risk for severe weather is approaching Walterboro now. Although you can see that even on the I'll switch it to the high res actually if we're going to be that close. I mean, even on the high res, you have pretty decent reflectivity, but again, nothing nothing too crazy to write home about right now. Radar still might be attenuating a little bit with the heavy rain moving over, but we did have a wind damage report of trees down with this. We did have, and you look here from Orangeburg, it's approaching into Bowman now. St. George, you're in this warning, and you're about ready to see this. Generally along I-95, not going to be fun to travel, and we may still have a severe weather threat there for the next little bit. I'm looking at a couple sources here. I'm looking at satellite, and I will say, Scotty, looking at the 1-minute satellite trends, they're not seeing that vigorous updraft show up in the 1-minute data anymore. On the infrared visible loop, I've got it on another screen here. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to source that in here, but I promise you, I promise you that it does look like that we're starting to see that maybe. We're starting to see some of the signs of this hitting, some of that less instability. And Scotty, to your point earlier with the northern storm, that is running into that is definitely running into a dearth of instability now. There's no convective inhibition, but the instability drops off markedly, as you mentioned, once you get in there, and so it is when you get towards the Tri-County as well. Now there's still plenty of fuel to work with further south, but we'll see how that goes. Now, I know we had a question about Greenville come up here. Greenville, North Carolina, not South Carolina. And yeah, you've got we'll switch to the regional view here so to talk about you. You got some storms in the area, a few lightning strikes, but again, nothing here really to write home about. And again, zoom out and notice that you are so far from any severe thunderstorm watch. The slight risk is to your west. These are not severe. They're so far displaced from the main low pressure system and the upper air dynamics that these are just going to be pretty much garden variety thunderstorms. Could see one or two maybe pop up, produce some gusty winds, but right now not expecting much in the way of severe weather in Greenville, North Carolina. For a change, eastern North Carolina does not see the crazy stuff. I mean, again, another marginal day, right?
That's right. It's so funny, and maybe this whole day can become a show because, let's be honest, that tropical Invest 90 that all this is stemming from looked better than a lot of named storms last couple of years, and actually looked fairly decent, well inland today, and that's kind of this low pressure that's really kicked off this. These storms and heavy rain that's been taking place across the Carolinas today. We'll say the tornado warning has been canceled for Chester County, so it is gone. As you can see, the polygon just dropped off off the map there. Talking about that, the Columbia office has also dropped a few counties in their severe thunderstorm watch. So if you live in Edgefield, McCormick, or Saluda County in South Carolina, that severe thunderstorm watch has been canceled early. I believe all of the watch cancels out at 9 p.m. as well as that tornado watch. But if you live in Edgefield, Saluda, or McCormick County, your areas have already been cut out of that watch.
The severe goes until 11, but I really doubt
severe. That's right, 11. Yeah, tornado watch is 9, severe is 11. That's right.
I really doubt it's going to make it to 11. I just I doubt it significantly. Still watching, some broad rotation just to the west of Lancaster here. Really kind of going over the airport right now. This is an old observation, unfortunately, that I'm looking at here. But again, it was a thunderstorm in the vicinity of 73 degrees with a dew point of 72. So tropical moisture for sure in place. And again, here there was a little bit more instability to work with on the mesanalysis. But again, we're going to start to lose that here very soon. You're going to be running into some convective inhibition here very shortly. So a good call by Columbia not to reflexively extend the warning here, I think.
Yeah, I tweeted out earlier today. I was like, at least it's a warm rain. Today was a warm rain instead of those cold rains that we normally have. Very tropical feel to the environment. Mm-hmm. We do have a question here from, it doesn't show a name. At least it does, but I don't know how to interpret that. But they're talking about what's in store for Havelock, North Carolina, which is out east near Greenville. Kind of the same thing that Jared was just talking about. The case being that you're so far away from low pressure, some garden variety thunderstorms possible this evening, but those will start to weaken over the next few hours.
Yeah, and we've had some warnings out that way. Earlier today, but again, as that daytime heating is lost and we are, 6:54, we're starting, we're starting to lose that a little bit. That is going to get a little bit better for you guys.
Yep. So speaking of that, tornado watch has been canceled for Abbeville, Anderson, Greenville, and Pickens County in the upstate of South Carolina. It's continuing for Cleveland, Polk, and Reliford in North Carolina, Cherokee, Greenwood, Lawrence, Spartanburg, and Union counties in South Carolina. Again, that is till 9 p.m. Jared, I know we're starting to lose daylight, but could we put up the satellite there and we kind of show where that low pressure is? And once that low is kind of moving out of the upstate, that's where we're starting to see those cancellations for this for the watch.
Yep, absolutely. Let me switch over to the regional view here, and again, here's the satellite. You're low. Actually, let me do one more thing here, Scotty. I'll put on the mesoanalysis. Now, granted, I mean this is not perfect, but this is there's your low. There's some of the feeder bands. I mean. Yeah. this is one of those that when they look at it after the fact, they'll probably be like, it was subtropical. It was getting there. I will say that there are good reasons when a storm is 50 miles offshore not to change everything to tropical products, because that gets confusing. This is a perfect example of why it's, we've had some, I've had some tweets. It's like, why, call it like it is. Call it, it's like when there's no change to the impacts, the material impacts, and it's so close, it's okay. It's okay. But it certainly, it certainly had the look as it was getting close. And so your low is roughly here, generally just to the northwest of Greenville, South Carolina. There's your last little feeder band here. And again, we've just, the updated watch just came through here. So you can see Greenville now, you are out of the tornado watch. So there's your cancellations right here. We still have the tornado watch going here. I think once this last feeder bandish kind of thing gets through, that will be curtains for the tornado watch in that area. So,
yeah, and that area being so close to the low, there's a little extra shear, a little extra turn in the atmosphere, and that's why we see that tornado watch in this area instead of a severe thunderstorm watch. But remember, tornado or severe thunderstorm watch, any of these storms today, there's enough shear in the atmosphere that we could get a quick spin up. Jared, you were talking about Orangeburg, and there you can see. I'll let you go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just taking a quick look at just kind of showing the shear along the line here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's a little bit of a little bit of rotation along the line, a little bit of shear along the line. This isn't necessarily tightened rotation. This is not necessarily there's going to be a tornado imminent, but it just gives you a general idea that you can get a quick little twist out of this before we go there. But yeah, let's go south here.
Yeah, Orangeburg Airport just reported 53 mile. I think it was 53. I've seen it pop up here just a minute ago.
Yeah, 53 mile an hour wind gust. It was at 6:46. So just about 15 minutes ago or so. Yeah, a 53 mile an hour wind gust. So that's impressive. That's good. We'll get the LSR on there. Yeah, there it is right here. So
that will definitely bring down some weak rooted trees and things like that. So be mindful of that. Let's see. Robbie and Tessa. Anything to worry about with storm headed into Morganton? Jared just kind of covered it. That's the low pressure. There is some shear associated with that. But right now all is pretty well, besides just some pretty heavy rain. Not even on any lightning associated with this storm right now. Just some heavy rain and some gusty winds. It's going to be moving into Morganton, which we have seen rain all day. I just checked the rain gauge about an hour ago, and it was 1.5 inches of rain. So once this comes through, we could be approaching 1 3/4 inches or even 2 inches. So I appreciate you watching tonight, Robbie. And let's see, we got Mindy watching, wanting to know how it looks in Bowling Springs, South Carolina. It's very heavy rain and sky is looking scary, and rightfully so, Mindy. That moving into the upstate there, Jared, it's just outside of Spartanburg.
Yeah, they got to get it. This map doesn't do the best job of getting some of the smaller towns, and I apologize for that.
Bowling Springs is just to the north there of Spartanburg on Highway 9. I know that because there's a good restaurant I like to eat there. Willie's Taco. You got to go check out Willie's Taco there.
Right, I have an assignment.
Springs. That's right. So you're almost in the clear. I would say another 30 minutes to an hour. Everything should be coming to an end there, Mindy. Right now everything looks good. We'll keep our fingers crossed that nothing spins up. But I think within the next hour or so, you should be clear there in Bowling Springs. So
yeah, you're gonna be just fine. These are decent storms, but it's nothing you can't handle. I think again, how many times during the summer months do we deal with the line of thunderstorms that associated with something that comes through? This is nothing we can't handle. It's just we want folks to be aware of the situation. Really all in all, taking kind of the wide view here, not as bad as it was earlier. We still have one severe thunderstorm warning now, and that is for a thunderstorm coming through Walterboro here. There's a good bit of lightning with it. We go back to the high res here. Do we have any other questions we need to nail before
Nope, we're good.
Getting into this? So again, I think the first thing is no tornado warnings are on the board right now. We have no tornado warnings on the board. Really, the only warning that's ongoing in the Carolinas at this point is this severe thunderstorm warning that includes Yemassee, Walterboro, and St. George for the line of storms that's going right over I-95 right now. Starting to see some signs that this is sort of beginning to fall apart a little bit as it gets closer to the coast. That is very good news. So as it gets into the Charleston metro area, again, a couple good things here. One, Charleston metro area, your commute, it's 7 o'clock. Your commute is basically done. Barring any bad drivers on 26, which we know can happen. But two, like, folks are a little bit more settled in on this Monday night, and we're going to get this thunderstorm moving by. And again, it does not look as it's already starting to look a little less, a little less bad. There's certainly some good wind on this. I mean, there's certainly some decent wind. There's 40, 50 mile an hour winds being sampled about 2,500 feet up. But we'll see what but we're going to keep an eye on what the National Weather Service there is expecting to do here. We have at 6:35 trees were down along I-95 near exit 42. So this did produce damage. So right there, you can see where my cursor is pointing, just north of Yemisi. A wind damage report there. Trees down along I-95 near exit 42, and that was as this line came through. So the severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue for Colton and Dorchester until 7:30. Hampton, Jasper, the severe thunderstorm warning for you is over. It has been reboxed to basically remain in Colton and Dorchester counties. So you can see it kind of fits the line quite nicely, actually. And again, folks out ahead of this, Cottageville, Jacksonboro, kind of very nearby. Jacksonboro, you're going to get at least some rain soon. A lot of Grover, Kennedy, St. George are in it right now. Harleyville, Dorchester, Ridgeville, you not in the warning. I don't know if the warning is going to extend east or not. But that's going to be Charleston's call to make. But everything I look at here is that so far, I think I can see a situation in which they decide not to continue with the warning. Certainly some wind there, but not looking terribly scary here. Hail potential. If there's going to be any hail in this storm, that's going to be in the segment that's kind of crossing over Kennedy's, and that is and we're also seeing a little sign of some weakening with that as well. So overall, the trend is good. With this, we can show the echo tops here. We can show you kind of how tall the storms are, and you can see how those updrafts are really starting to get lower. I mean, at one point we had 50,000 foot tops estimated near Branchville here, and then as we move this forward in time, you can see that those echo tops begin to drop. So certainly goes along with what we're seeing on the satellite. But regardless of any severe weather, we have a lot of lightning with this. So if you're hearing any thunder, if you are out and about this evening, got a ton of lightning right now around St. George, south to Grover. Walterboro looks like it has a new observation based off of 1855. Wow, okay, 1855 EDT. Okay, I'm reading that. Oh, it's Z time. No, they have a wind out of the west at 30 with a gust of 40.
Yeah.
At
Walterboro. A little breezy.
Yeah, a little breezy, and that was just at the top of the hour. So, so certainly a little breezy moving through Walterboro with this. But again, 40 miles an hour is not severe, which is good. But we'll see. Again, we could still see some trees down, especially. I suspect that if we're going to get some good mixing of the winds here, it's going to be north of St. George. I'm just going to tilt up a little bit, see if I can't find some of the leading edge on this. Again, we're doing a little bit of a hardcore radar analysis here, just trying to see what's what. And this is it's moving at a good clip. So I think the other takeaway here is that we still need the rain. We had a good rain here yesterday. If we can get the severe stuff out of the way, we could get a good rainstorm back into Ridgeville, Somerville, Moncks Corner. I don't think anyone's going to necessarily complain about that too much.
You're right, Jared. I know as of last Thursday, I'd have to pop it up, but I know the drought conditions significantly grew across both North and South Carolina. So this rainfall is definitely needed. And I know here in the foothills, we picked up a quarter of an inch yesterday, inch and a half today. And then I would say, with this last line moving through, another quarter inch is at least possible. So, you're looking at anywhere between 2 to maybe 3 inches in some spots. So some much needed rainfall. Looking at this week to come, tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, have a shower chance, nothing too overly dramatic. But then our attention comes to a strong cold front Thursday into Friday, which could bring more severe weather to the Carolinas. So we'll have to monitor that day, especially Thursday afternoon into the evening, into the first part of your Friday, where we could see some another round of severe weather associated with a cold front. So a pretty active week here in the Carolinas with this week, early week rain and storms, and brief tornadoes and things like that. I will say the National Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg has already confirmed they are headed out to Cabarrus County tomorrow morning near the Harrisburg area. Actually started in Mecklenburg County and moving into Harrisburg and Concord late this evening. Jared, I don't know if you saw this or not. I think we retweeted it out on our Twitter page. There was a transfer truck blew over in Concord, got flipped over in a JB Hunt trucking company parking lot. The tractor trailer actually got blew over from some of the wind there. So
we've got a new severe.
There we go. So I'll let you go ahead.
Yes, yeah. A new severe thunderstorm warning that now takes in Somerville, Moncks Corner, St. Stephen. Certainly for this line segment here, the belief is that this is going to continue to be capable of producing damage. 46 knot gust at Orangeburg with this line segment. So I think that's that's going to be good enough for them to keep it moving here. We're going to keep the warnings moving here. So Somerville, Moncks Corner. This is going to take in northern parts of Goose Creek into around the Mount Holly area, Old Mount Holly Road up here, 176 into Cane Bay, Cross, Dorchester, Harleyville. So again, if you're in this area here, you got some strong winds headed your way. Does not look like a hail threat here. If there is hail, it's going to be on the small side. But again, this is going to take in parts of I-26 between mile marker 171 and 204, and I-95 near mile marker 85. Essentially, this is coming over the 2695 interchange right now. So again, North Charleston, parts of North Charleston, it's going to get kind of it's going to just the far northern fringes of North Charleston, I think. Somerville, northern fringes of Goose Creek, Moncks Corner, Givens Ferry State Park, Ladson, Dorchester, Ridgeville, St. Stephen, Cottageville, Harleyville, Bono, Jamestown, Givens, and Cross, among other places. So again, and if you're on Lake Moultrie, this evening and somehow are watching us on your phone, which would be awesome, know that this is the time now. The time is now for you to get off the lake or get away from the water, because these storms are coming in. They've been producing a decent amount of lightning, and we don't want to see anybody getting hurt. Because again, regardless of whether you're in a warning or not, if you hear thunder, all thunderstorms are dangerous because of the lightning. So, want to always keep that in mind as these approach. So again, set this in motion here. You can see it certainly is, not the impressive, thing it was earlier, but it still may be vigorous enough to bring some trees down. So, Weather Service has opted to extend the warning to the northeast, and that's what we're going to do. Again, this is going to stay north of Charleston proper. So if you're in Charleston, Wando, Mount Pleasant, this is the worst of this looks like it's going to stay north. You can see how this kind of falls apart to the south. The best energy with this remains around Orangeburg and Point South. So that's the situation there.
Jared, if you don't mind, if we could drive the radar back up to Union and Lancaster County. Starting to see a little bit more uptick in the rotation.
I was noticing this too, and let me punch in on that real quick. Yeah, just south of Jars, right in here. Yeah, this is crossing the North Carolina border as we speak. Monroe, keep an eye on this. Unionville, Fairview. Again, it looks like there might be a couple. Like sheer areas here. Again, this isn't terribly organized, but we have been watching this because again, this can this can start to cause problems here.
Yeah, GSP just now chiming in saying some strong rotation being noted. They're going to go with this special weather statement for the time being, but they are ramping it up to include a tornado possible tag in that special weather statement. So we'll keep our eye on that. And I've noticed there's been an uptick in the lightning as well, which is kind of sometimes a sign of that storm really starting to strengthen and some strengthening there with some rotation could definitely indicate the possibility of a quick spin up. So we'll have to watch that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just getting Yeah, I just getting a couple things typed out real quick. And of course, as frequent viewers of the Carolina Weather Group know, I cannot talk and type at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I've done a couple of break-ins, and I'm like, we're not good multitaskers when you got social media and radar watching and NWS chat and trying to talk all at the same time. It's kind of hard to do all of that.
Well, Scotty, we definitely appreciate that, and again, watching this push eastward, we have this the warning. Generally, if you are west of I-95, we just got an update on the warning. If you're west of I-95, generally speaking, you're looking good. You're looking good. The risk for severe weather in your area has ended. We now have the line continuing to push eastward. Here's the velocity. This is just the straight line wind here. And you can see about 2,800 feet up, getting 55 to close to 60-mile-an-hour winds out of this, where you see kind of this lighter pink pushing into Harleyville right now. So again, some very strong gusty winds. We'd love to know about your damage reports if you're seeing any trees down, but only when it's safe, please. Don't venture out into this. The thing that we're interested more is in damage reports, not necessarily, watching it live. Although we love to, we enjoy that sometimes, but it's more helpful to us to know that one, you're safe, and two, to know where the damage has happened, so warnings can continue upstream.
Yeah, we'll note that the National Weather Service there in Charleston, Jared, they just talked about. All right, we've got a new tornado warning now for Cleveland and Reliford County, Cherokee and Spartanburg counties in South Carolina. So Cleveland, Reliford, North Carolina, and then Cherokee and Spartanburg in South Carolina. I've been watching Union County that I've not watched. I've not been paying attention to this. It's the weather radio.
Yep. Oh, yeah, this is a tight one, too. This is a tiny one. Boiling Springs. Hey, we just told you, it's not so bad. Well, just north of you, it's a very. Oh yeah, look at that. This. Let me.
That's a classic cook, right?
Yeah, there. Let me load some. Radar data history here, and you can see you had a. Yeah, let me go through. Yeah, it's a pretty well organized rotational signature just northeast of Boiling Springs. This is headed toward Chesnee. This is headed right towards Chesnee.
Chesnee, Mayo. This is going to be moving into portions of Bullitt Springs, North Carolina, near Gardner-Webb University.
Yep.
Cliffside, Caroline, and Reliford County as well. This is Bullitt Springs, pretty populated area. Lattimore. This is just going to be to the south west of Shelby. So if you are watching from Shelby, you need to be mindful of that. Jared, I'm going to share this on my page and
do it
quick, and then I'll hop back right.
Yeah, you're good. So again, we are, we're gonna kind of update this and say that we have a new tornado warning now, and let me see here. This is in northern Spartanburg County. This is approaching Highway 221 between Chesnee and Mayo, and you can see a very tiny rotation here, and it looks like Scotty, we have a debris signature. Looks like this this might be down. I don't know if that's noise. I'm gonna have to tilt. No, that's a debris signature. Yeah, we have. This is a tornado that is down and doing damage. This tornado is down. It is doing damage. I'm gonna switch the. I'm actually gonna switch to the other radar product here. Give me just a second here while I change this out. That's the.
Yeah.
That's the level.
In Chesnee. Yeah, if you live in Chesnee, you need to be in your storm safe place right now. That's the lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you don't have a basement, a centralized closet, a bathroom, a staircase, that's where you need to be, because as Jared said, this is definitely look like it's on the ground. This is kind of a rural populated area, but once you get into Chesnee, that population kind of pops up a little bit. So you definitely need to be in your safe place there, especially if you're traveling here along. I think this is Highway 221. 221.
Yep. If you're on 221 right now, this is not the time to be on Highway 221. This is a dangerous situation here with a tight rotation, relatively, not the strongest that we've seen all day probably, but you can certainly see that there's a little peak in the normalized rotation there. And again, evidence seems to be clear that this is lofting debris up to at least 3,000 feet. Wait and see. Got to get some more scans in, but yeah, but there is a very clear debris signature on radar approaching Chesnee along Highway 221. So again, this tornado is down. This tornado is doing damage right now. So again, if you're in this tornado warning, it is urgent that you move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a site-built structure. Mobile homes, RVs, you've got to abandon those for site-built structure. We can tell you by the radar data here that there is a tornado down.
Jared, I'm glad you said that, because it just reminds me, I know there's 3 or 4 little mobile RV parks on 221 that I've passed through going from the upstate back home, that I know there's a lot of mobile home camper,
a lot of camping.
RV type things. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, this debris signature is intensifying with every scan. Very, very clear debris signature where you have the big blue dot. That's a big drop in the correlation coefficient. Where it's red and pink, those areas, that's where we have the that's where we've got like targets. That's where it's all rain. Generally speaking, meteorological. When we get into the deep blues, that means that the targets are very, very differently shaped, and that, with the rotational signature and an uptick in reflectivity, is strongly indicative of a tornado down doing damage right now. So that's debris being lofted into the air. That's trees. That's God knows what. So again, it is urgent that if you're in Chesnee right now, there is a tornado down. It is on the way doing damage, and we need you in your safe place as soon as feasible. Again, very tiny little circulation. It's the small ones that get you. It's a very tight. This is kind of a no doubter here. This is certainly on the ground approaching Chesnee. So again, clear hooks. There's your hook echo. There's your debris signature right there. There's your debris ball there. That's a no doubter.
So again, if you live there on 221, this is going to be moving. If you take Spartanburg north into North Carolina, this is most likely the place that you are traveling into. Chesnee, there's a big school bus manufacturing plant there, sales place there that I'm not sure if anybody's working right now. They could be, but you want to make sure that you're in that. And Jared, that kind of looks like a debris ball showing up there on reflectivity.
It absolutely is. And again, I'm kind of zooming in a little bit so we can look at some of the populated places here on the map. There's your debris ball. And when I take this radar data off, they don't have the ability to do that here. When I take this radar data off, you can very clearly see that this is about ready to move into a very populated area. You got some neighborhoods here. You've got businesses. Certainly a dangerous situation evolving for Chesnee right now.
This is a Chesnee High School in that area. There's a McDonald's, Food Line. There's a Bantam Chef there. The Hotspot gas station, if you're familiar with this area, Hotspot is normally known for their cheaper gas prices. That's a spot that that a lot of people know.
Debris ball's over 221 now.
This is not good. This is definitely a damaging tornado now on the ground in Chesnee, South Carolina, again on Highway 221. So if you're moving from 221 north from Mayo into North Carolina there in Reliford County, there is a tornado on the ground with debris being lofted in the air. Jared, what was that? How tall was the elevation of the debris?
Let's see if we can get an update on that again. By last count, the debris was being lofted about 5,800 feet.
Okay.
So I mean, that's where I'm kind of seeing the end of that. But again, we're getting new scans in, and we're getting them we're getting new scans of the lower levels faster than we're getting scans of the upper levels, which is good because we want to know where that low level circulation is. But again, this is lofting debris that's 6,000 feet in the air at least. And it certainly seems like that this debris ball is intensifying here. You can see that, the very clear debris signature. We may even be starting to see some debris fallout further north in Chesnee proper. where you have the intersection of 221 and 221 alternate. This debris ball is crossing. If there's no good news here, but if there is a tiny bit of good news, the Chesnee itself, this may just track to your south, and we hope that that's the case, but it's going to get awfully close. Don't take a chance with this. Get in that safe place. Get into that lowest level of the site built structure, and really, if you're in the town of Chesnee, you need to be where you're going to be. This is crossing 221 now, and this is going to head towards alternate 221. And over into over into Cherokee County, South Carolina, and then this is going to move out into
Reliford and Cleveland.
Rutherford and Cleveland. So we're kind of connecting the Boiling Springs at the corners here. Boiling Springs, North Carolina. Keep a close eye on this, because this is if we do the storm motion from the warning, and we do a little storm track here. Each tick is 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and this could be in Boiling Springs in the next half hour. So again, if you're in this warning, if you're in this now, now we've turned to a brighter red polygon because of it's a tornado down.
Confirmed. At
this point. It's a confirmed tornado, and I believe that they went with a PDS on this. This is a PDS tornado warning. And so Mooresboro and Ellenboro around 7:50, Boiling Springs and Lattimore around 8 o'clock. Cliffside, Harris, Henrietta, and Caroline, you were also involved here. Yeah. So again, here's the text. I mean, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. Radar confirmed a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 11 miles west of Gaffney or near Chesnee, moving northeast at 25. And we'll update the storm. I'll keep updating the storm track here. Gaffney, you are not in the warning. This is going to track to you northeast, but certainly there is definitely debris being lofted. It's now crossing the county line in Cherokee County, South Carolina, near Alt 221. Tilting up.
Jared, we've got a spotter report saying that they're spotter on Archibald Road and Elder Road saw a funnel close to the ground. I guess this is going to be near the Chesnee area.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds about right. Yeah, I would expect that for sure. And again, and again, I would caution that, I mean, that certainly strikes me as a very likely thing. And, we're seeing the debris get lofted even maybe a little bit higher now.
Yeah, we're going to have a new tornado warning for Union County, North Carolina as well. So,
okay.
Union County.
All right. So we will wait on that. As we work to they'll get that issued here. But again, that's why we've not gotten rid of the tornado watch in a lot of this in these spots yet. Greenville, South Carolina, you're good, but again, anywhere east of this line, there's still a risk, and certainly right now a very dangerous situation in Chesnee.
Yeah, again, if you're in Chesnee, there at Chesnee High School, this is going to be the hot spot moving up Hampton Street, moving into the southern portions of Reliford and Cleveland County, Cliffside. Let's see, what is the other communities over here? Cliffside, I think there's Earl, Mooresboro, Ellenboro. Ellenboro, you're all too familiar with tornadoes. We've had several come through that area. You need to be in that storm shelter as this storm moves in. Jared, let's quickly head over to Union County, where Wingate and Marshallville now under a tornado warning until 8 p.m.
All right, let me see if I can. Just going to get the poly up. Yep, there it is. It's just around Monroe. Yeah, this was that storm that came out of Lancaster. Give me a second here, Scotty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the radar software on one.
I'm going to go ahead. I'll read some of the product here while you're getting that pulled up. Yep. This is going to be a tornado warning for Eastern Union County until 8 p.m. at 7:25, severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornado located 8 miles southeast of Monroe or 6 miles south of Wingate, moving to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. Marshville, you could be affected by 7:50. Sturtevant and Wingate around 7:40. Other locations could be Trinity and New Salem. So those are some locations there in Union County. With that, let's see, it's been cycling for a while, but really tightened up there. So GSP talking about how it's tightened up here recently with this, and it looks like okay, sorry, I saw some video come in. I thought it may have been of that tornado in Chesnee, but it was not. So
you're good.
I apologize for that. Go ahead, Jared. I know you got the video now.
I'm taking a look here real quick. I'm looking at another radar source here to see if maybe we can get this on the terminal Doppler and maybe get a little bit better look at it. I'm working to pull that up now. I'll let you know if it is something that we can throw on here, because again, this is going to be very rain wrapped. I think that's something that is important for folks to know, is that this is certainly going to be that time match basis. Yeah, we can see this very well on the terminal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch this to TCLT and zoom in on it. Again, the reflectivity is not going to look great because there's a lot of heavy rain in this and it's attenuated, but there's your tornado right there crossing Highway 601 right now. We don't have try to do correlation coefficient on a terminal Doppler, old habits, but we don't have the ability to do that. But again, there's your rotational couplet right there, crossing Highway 601 right now, south of Wingate. This is headed towards Marshville right now. This is so there you go. There's your tornadic signature off of the terminal Doppler there.
Yep, and I will say the confirmed tornado, Spartanburg County Communications reporting a funnel cloud there in Chesnee. So we do have that confirmation there with that storm. It's now moving in. So if you live in Reliford County, southern Reliford County, there on Highway 221 and 221A, you need to be in your safe place, especially there in Cliffside and Bullen Springs. So if you know anyone who may have been sticking around Bullen Springs or Gardner-Webb University for summer semester, if you live in that area there along Highway 74, just outside of Shelby, you want to make sure they're in their safe place, as this tornado is moving into now North Carolina. It's almost all the way out of South Carolina. I'd say within the next frame or two of the radar, that'll be completely out of South Carolina. But again, Ellenboro, Bullen Springs, Lattimore, you need to be in your safe place now. Again, confirmed tornado. We did see just recently the CC drop that told us that there was debris being lofted in the air there in Chesnee, South Carolina. Now this is moving up Highway 221 northeast. Let me get that storm motion. I can't remember right off the top of my head. Northeast at 25 miles per hour. So again, Bullen Springs, Ellenboro, Lattimore, Highway 74 between Forest City and Shelby. Pretty heavily traveled area, especially if you're going from Charlotte to Asheville. A lot of folks travel 74. So again, Ellenboro, Lattimore, Bullen Spring, Cliffside. You definitely need to be in that safe place right now. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Lowest level of your home. If you don't have a basement, you want to be in the most interior part of your home, a hallway, closet. A bathroom's always good. Bathrooms are good and sturdy places to be. Have some sort of head protection. A helmet's ideal. If you don't have a helmet, grab some pillows and thick blankets to put on your head to protect your head from any flying debris, because a lot of tornado injuries that we see come from flying debris. So you also want to make sure that you're not in your car. So if you are traveling on 74 or know someone who's traveling on 74, ask them to find the nearest exit. Go into a store, a grocery store, something like that, a safe structure. You don't want to be in a car when a tornado is passing through.
Yeah, and again, looking at this, I will say, Scotty, if there's any bit of good news here, is that this certainly looks a lot less organized than we saw as it was going through Chesnee. The debris signature is still very much there, but it does not look as concentrated. What I think is happening now is that we're seeing debris fall out of this storm. Debris from Chesnee falling out into southern Rutherford County. So they have a big loss of correlation. Correlation coefficient lowers significantly here, and some of that is weak signal, but some of that is very likely debris falling out of this storm. The circulation for what it's worth, the circulation is basically, I mean, it looks like it might still be aloft, but at the surface in the last couple scans, it's been deteriorating quickly. So that is, if that trend holds, that's what we want. We want that trend to hold, and I certainly hope that is the case.
Yeah, we definitely want that. And one good thing, Jared, is this area has been kind of worked over earlier from today from heavy rain.
Exactly.
A little bit more stable. And you want stability with a storm like this. You don't want it to work with any instability. So we hope that that trend continues. And as Jared was showing about 30 minutes ago, that's where that line of shear was at as the low pressure was moving into the area. So we do know that there is some shear there, some turning of the winds aloft. So it's definitely going to be monitored. But again, like Jared said, definitely the radar presentation is looking on the better side over the last few frames.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bounce back over to our Union County tornado warning. We still have a circulation showing up on the terminal Doppler. Unfortunately, we're so far from the radar site at this point, from any radar site, any WSR 88D radar site, that we're not going to be able to get a really good look at whether if this thing is lofting debris or not. We had the benefit over in Chesnee to be able to see that because it was very close to the ground. We were very close to the radar site there, but and that was helpful. But in this case, we were just going to be able to go off of the terminal to see kind of where the wind shear is. And your rotation just passed over Highway 601. Just put this into motion a little bit. And again, we're getting, the cool thing about the terminals is that you get updates every minute, which is extremely helpful in a situation like this. And you can see there's your mesocyclone right there, still south of Wingate and Marshville here. Let me take the radar data off real quick. And again, looking at this, we're going to load some higher resolution imagery as this goes. I'll let that load real fast. But there's the circulation, and again, east of 601. Fairly, not as densely populated, which is always helpful in this situation, although there is population here. And we want folks in this area to be taking this very seriously, but it is not certainly not. It's going to be rain wrapped too. I think that's the other thing that we want to talk about here. This is going to be rain wrapped, and this is going to end that. This you're not going to be able to see it.
Yeah. So rain wrap means that you're visually not going to be able. A lot of people like to see what's coming for them. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see this tornado if there's one there, just because of the curtains of rain. And remember, this is, like Jared was talking about, a more sparsely populated area. It is close to Wingate, so if you or any students who has stayed over for summer classes at Wingate University, make sure that they're in the know of this, because this storm closing close to just outside of Wingate, but close enough that you want to be in that storm shelter, especially people who, students who may not know where to go. You want to be at the lowest level of those areas. So hopefully your school's pushed out some notification of where to go on campus if you are on campus with this. And again, Marshville, another area there on Highway 74. It seems like, Jared, we're talking about Highway 74 here with the storms over in Cleveland and Reliford, and now over here in Union County and Anson County. Again, this is storms moving as they move into the North Carolina, though we are at least into a little bit more of a stable environment. So we'll have to see how that treats this storm over here in Union and Anson County as well.
Yep, absolutely. And again, we get very quickly into a much more worked over environment. And also, again, it's 7:30. The peak heating has basically ended at this point. It's been over for a while. We have there's still a little axis of instability. I'm looking at another source of data here, but yeah, we're definitely getting into a place where the fuel is going to run out very quickly, and if that happened, and with that happening, with any luck, we'll be able to get rid of some of these tornado warnings in short order. But again, there's your circulation. again south of Highway 74. Let's quickly check back on our other tornado.
I was just reading that, Jared. There is a damage report coming in from Paris Bridge Road, intersection of Casey Creek Road, there, Archibald Road, which where we heard about the funnel cloud there. Some trees down. One tree estimated to be about 40 feet tall, down across some power lines there. This is has trended down to a base tornado, so no longer a PDS tornado warning, but still a tornado warning. And GSP highlighting that they've not cut Spartanburg County out because of the trailing cell could become tornadic as it moves to the northeast. So that's the latest there from the Weather Service.
I'll tell you, if we're looking at cells to watch, there's one near Woodruff here that's got a good little hook to it. Not warned yet, but that'll certainly be something that GSP is keeping an eye on. Let's see, at the trailing cell here, not getting the best look at it, but again, I mean, that's you might have a little something near Inman. So again, we're going to keep Spartanburg there for the time being. And this one and this additional cell moving south of Chesnee right now looks okay. But yeah, we certainly see evidence that there could still be some sort of that there's definitely some sort of weak rotation showing up there. Regardless, you're getting some fairly strong winds as this pushes in. But with any luck, we can keep this on the down. We can keep this on the weak side going forward. But yeah, I'd watch this. I'd watch this area south of Woodruff here. This isn't warned, but again, that's got that look.
Yes, this new update's going to cut out the South Carolina portion of Cherokee County, but continues now for Cleveland and Reliford County. So another 10 minutes or so before this warning is canceled, but that's the newest update. So if you live in Spartanburg County or Cherokee County, you are out of that tornado warning, and it's now into Cleveland and Reliford County.
Yep. Yeah. So again, so there it is. Yeah, there's the updated box right there. So there's your updated tornado warning. And again, if there's might be a little something south of Cliffside here. Let's go to the normalized rotation again. This is it's still disorganized right now, and disorganized is good. We like disorganized in these sorts of scenarios. So we'll keep an eye on that. Scotty, looking at going back to the terminal Doppler and looking at our other tornado warning here, we're bouncing back and forth between the tornado warning in Union County in addition to places points west. Looks like this this tornado warning is gradually being trimmed back, and I wonder if it might get extended further into Anson County. See what happens. It's possible that there is certainly some evidence of there's certainly still some evidence of gate-to-gate shear here on the terminal Doppler. If I go to let me just take I don't think I'm going to be able to see anything worth. Let's take a peek real quick. Let's go back here. I mean, this is your Union County storm looking aloft here. This is looking about 14,000 feet. You can see a little mesocyclone, a little parent mesocyclone there. So, but again, the better look at it at the surface is going to certainly be from the terminal Doppler at a Charlotte Douglas, and this is again, and this is going to be south and east of Monroe. So Monroe, I know we have some questions about Monroe. It's raining hard, but the severe weather threat, the tornado threat for you right now is to your southeast.
And Terry watching us wanting to know about Western North Carolina. The tornado warning for Reliford and Cleveland County goes until 7:45, another 5 minutes or so. Thankfully, the radar presentation, as Jerry just said, is a little bit more messy, so that's a good thing. We like seeing that. We'll start to see rain and storms come to an end over the next few hours. I'm not sure exactly where you are in Western North Carolina. If you live near Asheville or west, the threat of rain is over with. If you live Asheville east towards Statesville, that part of Western North Carolina, the Piedmont and the foothills, you still got about another hour or so, 2 hours left of rain. So just depending on where you are in Western North Carolina, it depends on what's to come. If you're, like I said, if you're Asheville up into the mountains and west, the severe weather threat is over for tonight.
Yeah, and here's kind of the wide look here. And again, we've got a lot going on here. Let me take a couple of the let me get that overlay off. We have. Let's show you all our watches too. Actually, while we're thinking about it here. So yeah, let's switch to the watch configuration. So we still have severe thunderstorm watch in effect generally along the I-95 corridor up to I-20. Does continue to take in Columbia. Does not take in Charleston. The risk for severe weather in the Tri-County area is coming to an end. There is the severe thunderstorm warning coming up on 8 o'clock here. It looks like will be allowed to expire. Do you see some weakening happening there? There is the tornado watch that continues in this quarter where we have an active tornado warning right now around Greenville and Spartanburg there. So we'll go to 3 here and we'll zoom in and you can see there's 1, there's 2, and then here's your line of storms that is definitely losing punch. I'd still want to watch areas near northeast of Camden. A lot of lightning with these south of Sumter. That could be interesting as well. So we're going to keep an eye on a few additional places as time goes on. And there have been a couple cells that have had the look very near Greenville as well. We'll zoom out here. Yeah, this
Cliffside.
I got to tell you, man, this is Woodruff. This is south of you right now. I would definitely be. I would definitely hope that they're keeping an eye on this. Let me tilt down. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, this is south of Woodruff, and that might be organizing a little bit. So we need to keep an eye on this. This is going to cross 221 in Spartanburg County, just further south. We've just 221 and 74 have been kind of cursed roads tonight. So again, we have a little hook down here. There's no warning on it yet, and there may never be a warning on it, but it is something that we want to call out if you're in Woodruff there. This might be reorganizing up here by Cliffside. Yeah, you mentioned that. I think you mentioned that briefly here. Certainly seeing the signs of this starting to...
Yep, new tornado warning now for Cleveland and Reliford until 8:15.
Yep.
So this is going to be a continuation. Possible tornado located 9 miles southeast of Forest City, 4 miles southwest of Morrisboro, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. So some of the locations included in this will be Cliffside, Henrietta, Caroline, as well as Morrisboro around 7:50, Lattimore and Bowling Springs around 8 o'clock, Shelby, Kingstown, Lawndale, Bellwood, Fallston around 8:10. So those are some of the locations. And just for Jared's point, the next county would be my county, so we'll just have to watch that.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. Again, this is getting to Lincoln County and then Catawba. So yeah, we'll have to watch that closely. There's your. Let me just update the storm motion here. Put a new storm track there, and again, this is knocking on the door in Boiling Springs. This is approaching Kingstown. So deep red. This is back to radar indicated. Where this is kind of a light red because it was very much a reported tornado at one point. This storm has had a history of doing significant damage. It looks like significant damage may have been done in Chesnee based off of the radar presentation. Again, it's going to be a little time before we can figure that out, and it would actually help if I actually showed you what I thought I was showing you. So there you go. So there's your. So again, here's a radar presentation. We're going to zoom back in. Looks like this has just crossed alternate 221. And again, the old tornado warning is gone now. But Cliffside, Caroline, Morrisboro, Lattimore, Boiling Springs, you are now under a tornado warning until 8:15. And this is going to cross Highway 74 between Boiling Springs and Lattimore. It's going to be getting very close to Lattimore here in the next 15 minutes. So again, if you're in any of these areas, this has had a history of producing damage, producing tornadoes. And so we're going to need folks to be taking this seriously, moving to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy basement, a sturdy structure, a basement, a bathroom, a closet, all good places. We want you to hang out there until we get the all clear, and it's not going to last too terribly long. That's the good news about all this, is that it's not going to be forever. But in the short term, what we're going to ask is that you just stay hunkered down for the next little bit, as this could right now it's radar indicated, but it could spin something up again. And I think the good news is that Don't see any signs of any new debris being lofted right now, but it's worth noting, looking downstream maybe a little bit, I wouldn't be shocked if there was a little debris fallout here. So that's
Jared,
certainly a
getting
situation.
some additional reports now of damage being there in the Chesnee area, just outside. Several more trees being reported there. So it's definitely seems like it has touched down.
Oh yeah, there's no question. I mean, when you looked at, when you looked at, oh man, I mean, when you got a peek at that, we got a peek at that on the in there, and I'm trying to connect to something up here. Yeah, we had a peek at that earlier. Yeah, that was what we call a no doubter, and it certainly was. And I hope the only thing is trees. Trees can be replanted. That would not be ideal, to put it mildly. So let me. We still have the tornado warning in Union County. This goes until 8 o'clock, and is we're still well short of 8 o'clock here as well. Although I don't know that. Have you heard anything on the Union County?
Nothing yet.
Warning?
It's
Okay.
been continued until what is that? 8 o'clock.
Yeah. It's hanging around. The last update was at 7:39. So again, take a look at it from the terminal Doppler here, and and there it is. There's if there's anything there, it's going to be in there. It's going to be rain wrapped. You're not going to have an easy time seeing it. It is certainly not the strongest. Signature we've seen all day. And again, the terminal Doppler is really going to be our best bet here to actually see this thing. Although it's going to be leaving the terminal Doppler range soon. Again, the terminal Doppler only goes out so far, so I may switch this back to Columbia at some point to at least have a shot at it. Some heavy rain, regardless, in here. So again, we want folks to be on the guard for that. But I think what I'm going to do is, let me take this to Columbia real quick. I think Columbia is probably going to be the next best thing for watching this storm. And yeah, you can see there's a little bit of a rotation still showing up there, but we're looking 7,000 feet up at this point. The big story is the rain. There's a lot of rain in this. It is raining very hard.
It is pouring down rain here at the house. I'll just look down to the south to see if I can see anything with that's tornado warning cell, and I can't see anything just because it's a curtain of rain outside. I mean, it is just pouring the rain right now in the foothills. So
yeah, no doubt.
Again, we've got some confirmed damage reports in the Mayo up to Chesnee area. So we know most likely there's going to be a damage survey done there. Not sure if it'll happen tomorrow or the next day with the potential tornado out in Cabarrus County earlier today. But we do know there in the upstate of South Carolina, there has been some damage. And then Jared's continued to show you what's going on there in Union County as well. And Jared's doing a replay, and you can really see that debris ball start where this first damage report start.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then that thing really expands out, and you can see where that debris fallout might have happened all the way up in a cliffside. But yeah, you can see that. Clearly see that. There's your hook. There's your big debris ball there for a couple scans, and then it kind of weakens. And we like to see weakened. And I don't see, and so far so good on the back side of this, not really seeing any issues there. This is really interesting near Woodruff. This is very interesting near Woodruff. The low-level rotation is decent. That's interesting near Woodruff, guys. I'd still be paying attention to that.
Jared, I'm going to pop up something here. We've got looks like we've got some viewer video in.
Go for it.
The tornado possibility in Chesnee, South Carolina. This is from Cody Alcorn. He works at Fox Carolina there in Spartanburg. So let me get this screen share going here. Oh, hold on one second. Let me close out of this for a second.
Oh yeah, I think I just saw your retweet.
See it? Yeah. Yep. Here it is. We'll get it up here on the screen right quick.
Yeah, that yeah, I'll take you. I'm gonna take you full. Actually, that's
Okay.
yeah,
That's a pretty
yeah,
sizable
yeah.
tornado.
That's yeah, and that correlates nicely with what we were seeing on the radar. The
Now
Union County.
we'll say we can't see the ground here, so we
No,
can't confirm that it's on the ground, but we can both see the rotation within that funnel cloud. So
yeah, and,
and radar was showing debris, so you can kind of connect the dots. We'll let the weather service confirm everything, but that's pretty sizable for upstate South Carolina.
yeah, no doubt. That's a real good one. And down here in Charleston, we're getting some photos of some shelf clouds here. And there is still a severe thunderstorm warning in parts of the Charleston metro area, Monk's Corner to Bonner to St. Stephen, but that increasingly looks like it's going to be allowed to expire. The line is weakening significantly as it gets through there. So again, we're still watching. We're watching a lot of spots right now. We got radars at the wazoo here this evening as we're continuing to monitor for any potential spin-ups. The Union County tornado warning has been canceled early, so Cleveland County really is the only game in town at this point as far as the tornado warning goes.
And this one, Jared's circling the circulation there along Highway 74. Again, we'll mention 74 one more time, just over Mooresboro and then Lattimore as well. So that again, Jared, that's not the scariest circulation that we've seen today.
Well,
So.
But I will also say that the small ones can be the ones
That's right.
that are dangerous. Again, we did not the normalized rotation product was pretty weak. Actually, we usually look for a threshold of 1, but it did not reach 1. But we can see the damage we saw the debris signature that it did, and we saw the debris that it lofted, and certainly the size of that thing based off of that viewer video. Again, kind of calibrating what we're seeing today. This is a bit of a tropical regime. This is being spurred on by a tropical low. It was never classified as a tropical cyclone per se, but it was a tropical low that came ashore around Pensacola last night and has continued to move up throughout the day, move eastward throughout the day or northeastward throughout the day into the Carolinas and Georgia. And that has been the impetus for a lot of what we're seeing here today. And the wind shear and instability have been sufficient to produce certainly a few tornadoes. It's been a busy day on that front. And again, this is a classic. This is a classic low-topped supercell here. There's the cloud tops. The echo tops are nothing. This is nothing to write home about. Looking from GSP, it tops out at 15,000 feet. There's nothing to write home. Very little to write home about with this, and so so these are going to be the kind of very closer to tropical tornadoes where they spin up, do some damage, and spin right back down. Which is why it's important if you're in the warning to be taking shelter, because again, these can come in between a radar scan. Shelby Airport, interestingly, the winds are southeast at 14, gusting to 20. So there's your inflow into that. You definitely have some low-level shear here, enhanced low-level shear in this area. So again, that's a good reason to keep the tornado warning going in Cleveland County. But this is, at this point, the only tornado warning, should be the only tornado warning ongoing in the Carolinas at this point. There are some others in the country, but based on what I'm seeing here, this is it for the Carolinas. So
that's the only game in town. Looks like. Well, okay, never mind. I heard the buzz in my ear, but it was for somewhere else, so we're good there. Continuing to watch this. If you live in Kingstown, Lawndale, Bellwood, Falston, Highway 18 North, just north of Shelby, you want to remain in your storm safe place. Again, this is an area familiar with tornadoes. You know where to go if you're listening from this area. this evening. So again, remain in your safe place, lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Make sure you have some sort of protection for your head and your eyes and your feet. You don't want to walk outside with debris all over the ground with not with barefooted. So you want to make or flip flops. You want to make sure you have some solid shoes on there. One thing, Jared, one thing I can hold hope to is this part of Cleveland County. It's got some population centers, and we've not really got any debris or damage reports. So if we can hang our hat onto something, it's at least we've not heard of anything yet, and that's good to know.
Yep.
But that rotation's still there, coming right into Lattimore and Kingstown.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's weak. It's not, again, it's nothing. It's not the strongest that we've seen tonight, but they have apparently not had to be very strong to cause an issue. So we're going to keep an eye on this closely. Again, Scotty, to your point, very good news is that there's no debris signature here. There's fully correlated. It's all rain. Don't have an increasing signal here. The storm itself really is not impressive now, which is good. And hopefully it doesn't take that personally. But yeah, and if anything, that little rotation is broadening out a little bit as it gets into Lattimore. But again, we've seen these cycle up and down, so we don't want to lose our guard on any of that.
That's right. And again, this is moving into a more worked over environment. There's been a lot of rain in this area today. Excuse me. But there's still enough shear and just enough instability that we're seeing these storms pulse up. And until this low pressure kind of moves out of the area, this is kind of the back edge. Once we get through this, we're going to be okay. Another hour, maybe hour and a half. Foothills, Western North Carolina, you should be okay. But we just got to get through this little this last part, which unfortunately has produced, it looks like a tornado there in the Chesnee area as it continues to move into the North Carolina.
Yeah, and again, we hope it doesn't spin back up, because that certainly the video that we showed recently, and the size of that debris signature certainly has us believing that some fairly decent damage was done near Chesnee, and it may have, and with any luck, it just missed the center of town. But I just, oh man, don't like it.
It was very, very close to going through the center of town. So hopefully, no damage there. Again, so if you're in Cleveland County, Reliford County, I failed to mention, Reliford County, you're out of the tornado warning. It's strictly now for Cleveland County. Again, Shelby, Kingstown. Shelby, you're to the southeast of the rotation, but you're still in that polygon, so we want to respect the polygon. Be sure you're in your safe place. But Lattimore, Kingstown, Lawndale, Polkville, Falston, Bellwood, up into Waco, Cat Square, Vale, up in those areas, you want to make sure that you are in your safe place. This is butting up to Gaston and Lincoln County. Gaston, Lincoln County, you're not in any warning right now, but this warning kind of butts up to those county lines. So if you live in western or eastern, western Gaston County, western Lincoln County, just keep your eye to the radar and to us, and we'll keep you up to date if that warning is to be extended. But again, Lattimore, Kingstown, Lawndale, Polkton, and Falston, Bellwood, and Waco, you're in the trajectory right now of this rotation. So you want to be in that safe place as this storm continues to move off to the northeast. I think it was around 25, 30 miles per hour.
30, yeah. I will also say this, is that as we are very, very quickly seeing a loss of instability. I've got the meso analysis up over here, and that instability drops off dramatically as you get further north. Because again, a lot of this area has been worked over today. We've had several rounds of showers and thunderstorms move through a lot of these spots, and so that is stabilized near the surface. And what that will do is that will undercut any rotations and lower that tornado threat. So again, looking at this is this is certainly broadening out.
And canceled. So it is canceled. Tornado warning has been canceled. That's good news. We like that.
And it's gone. We're a big fan of and it's gone when it comes to that sort of thing. That's for sure. There are no warnings in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
So you take it to the regional view here real quick, and we'll take a look at that. Again, we have the line of thunderstorms here. We have a tornado watch still going. This watch is going until 9 o'clock. We'll see if it's canceled early. We have the severe thunderstorm watch that's going on in much of the central, and eastern South Carolina in the I-95 corridor here up east of 77. Still some strong storms to be sure, but we've not had any severe reports out of these in a while. And the severe thunderstorm warning that was in the Charleston metro area has been allowed to expire. And so there are no warnings on the board in the Carolinas. So that is a good thing. We'll hang out a couple more minutes just to make sure that things behave, but I think we'll be able to get you off of here pretty soon. But yeah, it's been a busy evening. There's been numerous damage reports. There's a report of there was a report of a guy who's hit by a falling tree while they were driving in St. George. The tree was blown down across Quaker Road in St. George. A motorist had a collision with the tree as it fell, but the driver was not injured. So certainly somebody buying a lottery ticket after all that is said and done, because that is extremely fortunate. That's man, that is that's the good news is that that'll be a crazy story and nothing more than that. So we'll certainly take that. Just looking at some other radar products here, I think we're going to be getting close here to where we can probably step aside, let Scotty get some water.
Yeah. I was catching up there on social media to see if I missed anything from any reports, but I hadn't. Jared, do you want to kind of do one more breakdown of what's left down there in the Low Country, and we can kind of wrap it up after that?
Yep, absolutely. So again, let me take this satellite off of here, just clean this up a little bit. So again, I guess the first thing we want to talk about is we still do have a couple watches in effect. We have a tornado watch in parts of the upstate of South Carolina and into the southern foothills of North Carolina until 9 o'clock. Again, as these thunderstorms move through and move eastward, we'll see these watches continue to be dropped. We have a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock, roughly from the North-South Carolina border up into, I want to say this, like Chesterfield County, south to Camden, Columbia, Sumter, Orangeburg, Moncks Corner, St. George, Somerville, Dorchester, Berkeley County. Does not include the coast. We're seeing those storms fall apart, going through Walterboro and into Savannah until 11 o'clock. Again, the expectation is that this will probably be trimmed back, if not canceled entirely here in the next little bit. So that would be helpful. It would certainly be nice to see that. We'll take a look. We'll put the satellite and everything back on here. Let me take that off here. And again, we have a few ongoing strong clusters of thunderstorms. One of which is just north of Hartsville, approaching Rockingham, North Carolina right now. These are sub-severe. They've not been warned or anything like that, but there's some pretty heavy rain and a good bit of lightning with this. So again, we're going to recommend folks, if you're anywhere, when thunder roars, go indoors, and we want people to be safe, because all thunderstorms are dangerous because of the lightning that they produce. So again, we want to keep that in mind. Moving further south, we have a little bit of a decent little bit of wind moving through Sumter right now, some heavy rainfall. This is going to eventually heading into Maysville, Lynchburg. Could have designs on Florence here in the next little bit. So if you're out at Buc-ee's, if you're in line at Buc-ee's, which I'm sure like everybody still is, based off of the reports that we have seen from the opening, be aware that you have some thunderstorms eventually knocking on the door here in the next 30 minutes to an hour. The line of thunderstorms has been decreasing significantly as it gets down toward the coast. And this is not the best, again, this is a kind of a QC'd version of this, but you can see that the showers have certainly diminished in intensity heading down into the Charleston metro area. We have maybe a batch of some steady stratiform rain moving in behind the low here. But again, all in all, the trend is toward stabilization and an eventual downtick of the severe weather threat. We do have some thunderstorms ongoing in eastern North Carolina as well. We did have a few severe thunderstorm warnings early this evening. Jacksonville, New Bern, Greenville, North Carolina looking okay, but like Williamston, Edenton, so some heavy rain, maybe some lightning strikes there. But so far, no signs of anything severe, and I don't expect that that's going to be an issue. We do have, we still have some instability in that region there. But you're going to be displaced a little bit from the best dynamics, and so we're still going to keep we'll keep an eye on that. But again, the parameter space is looking increasingly docile, which we like, and we hope to keep it that way for the rest of the evening. So again, that's the situation that we find ourselves in this evening. So for many of us, beneficial rain. I mean,
yes.
we don't like the extracurricular activity going with it, but for many of us,
I hope Bucky holds on to his nuggets down there as that line moves through.
Yeah, exactly. And again,
nuggets.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I gotta get up there, but yeah, I think overall, still some good storms, still some cold cloud tops, and some vigorous updrafts with these. So something to watch. Scotty, you made an ooh.
Yeah, I just heard the tornado buzz, but it was from earlier, so we're good.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Cool. Speaking of the rain, beneficial rain, National Weather Service in Roanoke has issued a flood watch for portions of Watauga, Ashe, Allegheny, Surrey, and Wilkes County through tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So flood watch up in the northwestern part of the mountains of North Carolina. So some rainfall up there all day. So, probably warranted.
Here's a 12-hour rainfall. Some spots saw 2 to 3 inches, but most of y'all generally about an inch or so here. And if you got more of that on the way, then I can see why they would be.
You can really tell the upslope effect there, Jared, because you get towards Hickory, back to Charlotte and Greensboro, the precipitation totals drop off big time. You can kind of see the southeast flow there really ramping up. The mountains really wringing out that extra moisture. So
and you can also see the track of the individual cells within the line. It's always neat to see. But the pretty wide swath of rain that has moved up as far as this low goes. So
I know we've continued the trend of having at least one named tropical system in May for the last several years. So for old time's sake, we should just named it for that. But anyways,
that's one streak I'm happy to break, even if
that's right. Kenny's giving us some props. You guys are awesome. Thanks for your coverage. Since moving here, I've been looking for a local YouTube. So thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much for watching us. We appreciate you watching. I think, Kevin, you said earlier from Ohio, and the weather was a little bit more crazier here than it was in Ohio. So welcome to the Carolinas. We've got this severe weather season, and then we'll head into tropical season. So it's just one season after the other. So Jared, if it's cool with you, we'll go ahead and log off for tonight. Hopefully,
very cool.
Hopefully we'll have no more tornado warnings. We'll be watching the radar off screen tonight. So we'll break back in if we need to, but things thankfully right now are starting to quieten down. Again, National Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg will be heading out to Cabarrus County tomorrow to survey some damage done in the Concord, Harrisburg area from a potential tornado. And they may stop along the way there in Chesnee in the upstate of South Carolina, as we did see some damage there as well. So if we get any reports from their findings, we will be sure to pass that along. If not, we'll see you back here Wednesday night for an all-new episode of the Carolina Weather Group. Until then, we hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here real soon.